right. Hey. I sincerely hope that this is recording because it'll be awfully disappointing if it's not. But hey, it has been a while. I have not seen you in a minute. Hi. So if you're new here, I'm Zoe Tuguma. And I am the one who runs this YouTube channel, I guess. But truly, it has been a minute. And so I just wanted to talk to you about like what has been going on over the past 30 days because it has been pretty transformative, and I hope that you can get something out of this. And there's just things are changing in my life and I have to share it with you, so I kind of disappeared over the past 30 days. Actually, I disappeared over the past 30 days, and I don't know, towards like the end of July I just felt this pull to take a 30-day fast. No social media, so no Instagram, no Facebook, although I did keep YouTube. No uploading to social media, so no YouTube. No movies and series, and no guys, which is ironic because there's literally like nothing happening in that area in my life at all. We're in the middle of a pandemic. And so I just felt this pull, and as things sort of always happen when the Lord calls you to something, you sort of feel resistant, right? You're like, I kind of resisted a little bit, but I just felt this pull, and I felt the Lord very strongly say just that if you don't take these 30 days to work through some stuff in your heart, certain things are going to keep coming up and you're not going to work through them fully in the way that I want you to, So I was like, okay, Lord. Did it a little bit for like 6 days, and then I wasn't truly doing it. So I was like, okay, let's start again. Let's truly okay, this is it, let me truly commit to this fast. And so I did. And so for 30 days, no series, no TVs, no guys, no social media, no uploading to social media. And it's funny, also fun fact, I'll tell you about these plants, super cool story, but yes, I did move him over here just for this video. I'm trying to find a good like a good setup. Anyway, so I sort of took these days off social media, and it's funny because I just found something to replace it with. The time that I wasn't spending watching TV series on Instagram anymore, I literally just replaced with YouTube. And that's not how it's oh my goodness. I'm so all over the place. I have 3 pages of notes here, but that's not how it's supposed to be, and so and for a couple of days I had to give up YouTube. And the thing that that stood out to me quite a bit is just how I literally physically craved to watch series, to go on to or to watch series and movies. That was the big one. I literally physically craved to do that, and I was like, what is happening? I felt like addicted to them, and I'm like, I want to watch this. And the days that I didn't go on YouTube and was intentionally fasting YouTube, I needed something to fill that space, and just before I took this fast, I literally felt like there were all these voices, not like voices in my head, but all these voices of social media that were just speaking into my life, and I couldn't hear myself think. I couldn't hear the Lord and what He was saying to me, which is such a dangerous place to be. And so I just encourage you, like, if you're at that space, maybe take a fast. Maybe it's a week fast, 3-day fast, just of social media. And especially in this time with activism and just all these things, these awful things that have always been going on but that are now more highlighted on social media, I think it's important sometimes to take a step back, because activism is a marathon, it's not a sprint type of thing, my 2 cents there. And so I took this break, and then about a week and a half, 2 weeks in, I lost my job. And so I was babysitting full time for a little kid, or au pairing, whatever you want to call it. And I lost my kid. I lost my kid. I lost that job in a very abrupt way, but it was such a blessing, and the Lord really taught me so much through that. And so then now I had all this free time, right? So when I first started the fast, I was just surprised by how not busy I was, because I was constantly just busy, not productive, but busy, trying to do this and do this and do all these things, but not actually going anywhere. I hope that makes sense. And so now not only was I not busy, I wasn't getting up every day to go to this job, and I really had time to like recuperate and to truly rest once again. At that point, I felt like, honestly, the season I was in is perfectly described by the song Lean In. Love the Maverick City music version. And I've got it on my wall. It says, "You'll never leave." That's God. "Your love sustaining me. Before I even knew what love was, you brought me here to rest, given me space to breathe. So I'll stand still until it sinks in. I will lean back in the loving arms of a beautiful father, breathe deep, and know that he is good. He's a love like no other." This is literally describing the season that I'm in. Imagine like a song. It's crazy how like songs can speak to you. And so at this point, that's kind of the season that I was in. And so I was just like navigating that, and I really started digging deep into things and working through things. And it's crazy within that how the Lord just brought community into my life. And within a space of weeks, I think I'd always had community, but I didn't truly realize it. Something that I've always wanted is like a mentor. You hear people talking about like my mentor this, my mentor that, and I haven't truly had like that sort of relationship with anyone. But through this, the Lord told me that mentors come in so many different forms, and sometimes you don't need one mentor, you need a community surrounding you. And so literally within the space of a couple of weeks, it just felt like this community just like surrounded me, and now I'm constantly surrounded by community who are constantly keeping me accountable, which to be honest, I don't like the word accountability. I don't think anyone likes accountability, but it is so important. And so in this season, the Lord has now given me people in my life who are keeping me accountable, community who I'm literally doing life with, working through hectic stuff with, and it is so beautiful. And if I was so focused on me and this space and the Project Lumiere and just so busy, I wouldn't have time for that community, and I think it's just been so freaking beautiful to see the Lord like work in that way. I'm reading my notes because there's a lot here. All right, and then also something happened during this time, and it's like something changed inside of me when I lost that job. Thankfully, I still have my second job, which is part-time, but when I lost that job, I had to eat a big slice of humble pie. Just certain things that I've thought about other people. The Lord really humbled me, but something changed inside of me, and I've been trying to like explain it to people, but I'm not sure if I can, so I'll try to explain it to you as well. Is this still filming? Okay. Whew. I flipped my phone camera backwards, so I have to like double check. It's kind of stressful. But something changed inside of me, and I never understood how someone could be 30 and wake up in a job they hate, or how someone could end up homeless, like I had like sympathy towards them, but I didn't understand it, and I won't understand it because I haven't gone through it. But the Lord has just given me such empathy for that, and I actually ended up listening to a sermon that changed my life. I will make a video all about it, and it was a Louis Giglio sermon, and he was talking about like hope for life, and he was saying, I don't know all the answers, but I'm going to point to God. And that's something that resonated with me so much, because I'm such a fix-it person, like do this and do this and do this, but sometimes the answer is just I don't know, but I'm going to point you to the cross, like I have no idea. And so I just got to that point, and the Lord and really showed me that life is hard sometimes. Like that's just it. Life is hard, and sometimes you just try and make it work. That's not always, but sometimes, how someone will lose their job and then lose their home and become homeless. That's how someone will wake up at 30 in a job they hate because it pays the bills. And I've just grown so much in empathy, and the Lord is just, I don't know how that's going to factor into my story, but it does. And so life is hard sometimes, but I can just point you to the cross. You know, Jesus might not fix it all, but he will definitely carry you through it all, if that makes sense. So I really just grew in that. And then I hope this whole like video is making sense. Or not even making sense, making rants. You guys, I have the most like dad joke humor ever. Anyway, and then honestly, I didn't know if I was going to continue social media. Been I have been running my blog for 5 years this year, this channel for 3 years on and off, and I've just seen no growth with it, or like very little growth with it. And I really had to have a heart check, like, am I doing this for the numbers and the supposed fame, you know, or am I truly doing this for a purpose, you know? And so that really now like shifted my heart attitude, because I'm back here, and also something that the Lord sort of convicted me with, he just laid this phrase that my glory will be shown through your story. And so it's literally like he said, I don't want you to, I felt that he was saying like, I don't want you to try and strive to grow your channel, you know, like keyword research and all these other stuff, which is so helpful, and I love like the analytical side of YouTube. But he just said, I just want that to stop, and I just want you to share things, and his glory is going to be shown through my story. And so I don't know what that looks like, but you know, I'm not trying to be famous or popular or whatever, and I've said that before, but this time is truly like for realsies. I've never said that before. Okay. It's so real and genuine, and I'm just at this space where I'm like, I'm gonna share my heart, I'm gonna share what the Lord has laid on my life. And honestly, if one person, like if this affects one person, then I'm doing what the Lord is calling me to do. You know, I was thinking about it in terms of numbers. I still serve there, but before the virus and everything happened, I was serving at a children's ministry, and on an average Friday night we would have between like 28 and 50 kids, because it's only 2 grades, so it's a pretty small ministry. And I was thinking about it. I have 86, oh my goodness, okay, I have 87 subscribers on this channel, okay? And if I was to sit in a room with 87 people, that's a lot of people, you know? And so I am speaking to you, friend, you know, and this isn't to grow my channel, but this is just to speak from my heart and speak what the Lord has laid on me, you know? So it's like something has changed in me, and I'm never going back to being the same, you know? And like today, the Lord was showing me that I can't fight every battle for everyone, if that makes sense. Talking about like activism, you know, I've now committed to lifelong activism, and right now the topics that I'm really focusing on are Black Lives Matter and gender-based violence. You know, that's what I'm really speaking out about. And obviously you speak out about like injustices in the world, but you can't hardcore focus on every single injustice in the world. Otherwise you first of all, you'll burn yourself out to the ground, but also you won't do your job effectively. You know, you cannot be a social justice warrior for every single social injustice, you know. And even like with topics on my channel, you know, certain things I'm realizing like there's certain things that I'm not yet going to talk about, because the Lord hasn't led me there, you know. Topics like abortion, homosexuality, all these things which are very real topics, I have opinions on. The Lord has shown me certain things on that, but he's not calling me to speak about that. You know, false prophets, he's not calling me to speak about that in this season. And so I'm not going to be those aren't things that I'm going to be pushing forward, you know, as much as they should be talked about and they're like hot topics. I don't want to be talking about them if the Lord hasn't led me to talk about them, and that talking about them not at the right timing of the Lord causes more harm than good, you know, than uplifting. And so and so with that, the Lord has just taught me so much. Like, I'm a share it person. I really, when I have a thought, I want to share it with the whole world so that it's always like out there. And this is something I still struggle with today, but the Lord really taught me in this time that you don't have to share your opinions with the whole world. You don't have to share your heart with the whole world. I can share it with him, and that's enough, because he'll never forget. And it feels weird because, you know, I never want like certain thoughts to be be forgotten in certain times. That's why partly why I journal as well, because I never want to forget certain things. But I can just tell the Lord something and He'll never forget that. He will cherish that in His heart forever, you know. And so yeah, and with this I learned about boundaries. I could literally make videos on like different topics I'm talking about right now, but about boundaries, because with this sharing of myself, I literally would share like things that I would go through something that day and then share it on the internet at the end of the day. And I realized that is so unhealthy. As much as, you know, I was used to be like, no, I don't want to have boundaries, I want people to see my whole life. But the thing is, I have to have boundaries. And okay, so I got I got like cut off while I was talking. I've been storage full, and so I switched cameras. I just want to end off this video quickly. I have so much that I could tell you about this period. Also, I ordered a plant online. Actually, I ordered this bad boy online during this time, and I ended up with this one and an extra two, like one over there. I will insert the clips here. Through a shipping error, which is crazy because I wanted one, I got three. The Lord is good and abundant and knows the desires of our hearts. And yeah, and so basically what I was saying in the end is just, I don't know how often I'm going to post. My goal is once a week, but quality over quantity, you know. And I'm just here to share the truth and share what the Lord is sharing with me. And in no space for mediocrity. Towards the end, just before the break, things were getting a little shallow here, you know. They might not have looked like it, but my quality was going down. The video wasn't what I wanted it to be, you know. So I'm back, baby. And you know, you can see more of my character. I'm definitely like opening up, trying new backgrounds, and yeah, and so this is it, you know. And I'm so excited for what the Lord is doing in this season, and the whole purpose of now the Project Lumiere has shifted from my journey to becoming content to reminding you that you are seen, friend. I call everyone lady. I would call it lady, but guys, you are welcome here too. And so obviously this is in the Project Lumiere. This is my personal channel, but if you go to my Instagram, the podcast, the blog, which is getting a revamp soon, the entire sole purpose is just remind you are seen. So many times people have spoken up about their story, and it's given me courage to speak out about my story, and so I want to do the same. And it's crazy how when someone else says something, you're like, oh my goodness, I relate to that so much, you know. And so that's the goal. And so I'm back. I wasn't sure if I was gonna come back. The Lord really had to work through that. And so yeah, okay. I'm so excited for where this is going, and I will see you in the next video. It's gonna be a good day, friend. Bye.